Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Back Bumps to Ballrooms, where I chronicle my journey from ECCW trainee to, fingers crossed, the main event of Ballroom Brawl. So last night was ECCW Mortal Kombat, a Fans Bring the Weapons show. I've been to a bunch of ECCW shows in the past, but I've never had the opportunity to work a show. So this was going to be a really cool learning experience for me, and I was super excited to be there. The show was at 7:30 p.m., but setup time was at 4:30, which let me know that there was going to be a fair bit to do. So got there at 4:30 and ended up having to wait a little bit because we were just waiting on a few people to show up. But a few of my new classmates were there, which was really cool. And you know what? Why don't I just introduce them to you right now?
Okay, here I am inside the Saberton Pensioners Hall. We're going to do ECCW. Oh my gosh, I need to learn how to talk. ECCW Mortal Kombat happening tonight. We're here to set up. I want to introduce you guys to some of the other trainees that are joining my class. Who's this over here?
Hi, Nathania.
Hey, Nathania. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Putting you on the spot.
Oh, that's so terrible. I would have to say it's Eddie Osborne.
Solid pick. What up?
Before I introduce myself, make sure, head over to my channel at Sad Boy Denzel.
Oh yeah, we'll be tagging.
Denzel.
You'll be in the description, baby.
Oh, let's go. Link in the description. And just keep your wording who my favorite wrestler is, Kota Ibushi.
Ooh, solid pick. The man's chiseled from stone. My friend. Who do we got over here?
Hola a todos, me llamo Genaro, un gusto conocerlos. Saludos a todos por allá.
Oh man, we go multicultural today. I love it. Hey, why don't you say hi to the internet?
Hello, Internet.
What's your name?
I'm Christian.
Christian. You excited to train?
I'm excited. My back's not excited. But
Nah, it'll be fine. You'll learn the bumps.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll figure it out.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
If I had to pick,
Yeah.
I feel like I have to say Jericho. Shawn Michaels is the obvious one.
Ah, that's the easy pick.
Yeah,
Right.
so we're going to go obscure. Jericho.
Obscure.
Yeah.
Sick.
That wasn't all of my co-trainees. That was just a handful of them. Hopefully you and I both will get to meet the rest of them soon. Well, tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow is the first day of training, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah, none of us had worked a show before. Actually, no, Denzel had worked a couple shows before, so he knew what was going on. But the rest of us were just completely in the dark about things. But things started moving pretty quickly. As soon as we had enough bodies there, we started unloading the truck. All of the frame for the ring, all the cables, the ring ropes, the boards, the mats, and all the merch for the show, props for later in the night, a bunch of recording equipment. There was a ton to unload. And then once everything was where it needed to be, we started putting the ring together, which was really cool to see. I'd never been in person to see a ring put together before. So it was really just cool to see how everything went together with the boards, the mats on top, and the frame. And I'm sure the novelty will wear off pretty quickly as I set up more and more of these. But the first time was really cool. So I'm going to savor that. And it was really cool seeing sort of the behind the scenes from the wrestlers' point of view. All the wrestlers that were there that were on the card that night. I got to see them, warming up and going over their matches with each other. That just made me so much more excited for me to eventually get to do that same thing. I don't know if anybody caught me doing this, but there was a few moments where I was just standing there just watching the ring, almost imagining myself, in there. And man, I'm just so excited for that. But at the same time, I am really excited to learn all the ins and outs of the business. And speaking of that, my job for the night was to shadow over at the timekeeper's table with Jeff Cummer, former ref, current timekeeper at ECCW. That was a really cool experience. I didn't get to ring the bell. I'm sure I could have if I'd asked, but I didn't ring the bell. I just really didn't want to screw it up, my first show, right? But I learned a lot from him about some of the little tricks of the trade that come, in terms of communication between the ref and timekeeper. I'm not gonna spill all the beans, but it was really cool. There was some stuff that I learned that it blew my mind almost in the same way that this one I will say, just because everyone already knows, it blew my mind the same way that, when you first learn about how when refs squeeze the hand to check on a wrestler and the wrestler squeezes back to say they're okay, it was really cool. I also have to say, everyone that I met was just super friendly and super nice. Everyone was, you hear all these horror stories about wrestling culture, from back in the day, and even really not even that far back in the day. Like pretty recently, you hear about just all these weird, unspoken rules and how like everyone's a dick and everyone's trying to backstab you. And maybe I just haven't been around long enough to see it, but everything I've seen so far has shown that everyone at ECCW is so chill, so nice, and so willing to chat you up. So thanks to everyone that I met yesterday for making us all feel so welcome. Us rookies, us lowly peons. The show itself was awesome. It was an awesome show. There were a couple of really great matches on the card. Shout out to Bishop and Beef Boy for putting on an awesome storytelling match. Crowd just got super into it. The match was just super over, so shout out to that. And also Travis Williams and Jackie Lee. Really great high work rate match, and so props to you guys. And of course, props to Drexel and Andy the Dreadful Bird, main event of the night, fans bring your own weapon match, for putting your bodies through that sort of hell for everybody's entertainment. There was one spot in that match with skewers sticking out of Drexel's head, and man, what a visual. That was, like I've seen a lot of hardcore matches, I've seen a lot of death matches, but I don't know, for some reason that was just a sick visual. I don't know if I'm allowed to show it. I don't know if my channel's not monetized. I'm not making any money on it anyway, so who are you going to demonetize? YouTube, you can't. So I'm just going to show it. Look at these skewers. Once the show was done, it was just everything else but in reverse. Take everything down, put everything back in place. So I got there at 4:30, ultimately got out of there by around 11:30. So it was, a pretty long day, but it was such a blast, and I can't wait to do more. But first things first, tomorrow. Tomorrow is training day number 1, and man, am I ever excited. So that is tomorrow, and you can look forward to an episode about that coming very soon. If you liked this video and are excited for the next one, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, all that regular YouTube stuff. It really, honestly, genuinely helps me out so much. And yeah, thank you again for joining me, and I will see you very soon for episode 3. Catch you later. Thank you again, you guys. And before I forget, I just want to remind you to please check out the videos on the side of your screen right now to see some more fun, cool content.